Welcome back to At Your Peak. Ryan Kibbe. Fundamentals is what we're talking about, and a message today called Don't Decorate the Cell. Well, Ryan, what does that have to do with faith? What does that have to do with risk? Well, there's an element to this, and it's important to understand that as we talk about faith and risk, and all the things that we have to do out there, is that God wants us to dream with Him. We mentioned that in yesterday's session. There's an element to risk and fulfilling that dream that He's put in you. But there's also challenges to those dreams, and usually it's right between the ears. You can develop your dream, or you can decorate your cell. Well, what do I mean by that? Well, if you ever saw the movie Rudy, you'll understand where I'm going with this. The movie Rudy was Rudy Rudiger, and he had a dream to be a football player at Notre Dame years ago. And he had a friend in the movie, Charles Dutton, who gave him a reality check. And basically he said, Rudy, you got to protect your dream. Because Rudy was getting discouraged. He walked on. He never thought he would play there. He was always beaten up on the practice squad. He never thought he'd ever get to play. And Dutton says to him in a key moment, he says, you need to protect that dream. Well, he wound up playing in the final game of his career, Rudy did, and he got a sack. It was a big moment. It's a great story. You need to watch it. But Dutton himself, the man himself in the story who played the encouraging friend, he had an amazing story, because Dutton actually spent 7 years in prison as a young man for manslaughter. And when he asked how he got through it, Dutton said, well, unlike the other prisoners, I never decorated my cell. I wanted to be reminded every day, this place is temporary. This place is temporary. Well, this world that we live in is temporary. Heaven is our destination. Earth is our assignment. And God has given you dreams to fulfill that require assignments to be fulfilled, and that requires risk. You don't want to get happy playing it safe. You want to not decorate your cell. You want to dream bigger, beyond the borders of labels, lids, and limitations. Don't decorate your cell. See a world that's bigger in Him. He's got so much more for us. Here's what the Amplified Bible says in Proverbs 29:18. It says, where there is no vision, no redemptive revelation of God, the people perish. Well, the way you could say it like this, vision then gives pain a purpose. You get that revelation, and that provides a framework for you and others to step into. And then dreaming and vision gives pain a purpose. You know, if you don't develop His dreams in you, then others will shape them for you. In essence, you begin to decorate a cell. It's like, well, I'm going to fulfill my parents' dreams. So it's like too many people, they'll live out the vision of maybe their parents, their friends, their spouse, their job, circumstances. The culture tells them what their vision is. Maybe their own flesh. An addiction says, this is the vision. This is the cell that I want you to decorate. Ryan, I want you to be addicted to this. That's your cell. Decorate that. No, we don't. That's not the vision. We have a God-given vision, each one of us. Not just on one concept, but many things that He's birthing in you. You're going to have to dream with God, and you're going to have to develop that. You have to develop that dream. So here's an action step that we're going to talk about today and tomorrow. You need to discover what He's saying over you. Where is the redemptive revelation, the vision that God has given you? Discover that. You need to begin to develop it, taking baby steps. And as you do, you need to protect it, because if you don't know where you're going and what you're aiming at, somebody else will come in to fill the vacuum and take you off course and off vision. Leaders know this, businesses know this, churches know this, governments know this. If you're not on message and have a prophetic revelation from God of where you're going to, somebody else will give you a message to follow that may not be for you. You need to capture His vision for your life and then align yourself with other people who share that vision. This works, and this is the reality of God. We develop it, we protect it, and we share it. We invite other people into it. We'll talk more about that tomorrow. But what I want you to do today is to just simply write down some things that God is birthing in you. What are some areas that you know, I've let this define me, I've let other people's vision define me? Begin to prune that, discover what you need to be doing. For instance, if you're in church world, like for us, it'd be like if you're serving in a particular area of ministry, but you're actually not called to do that, but you're just doing it because nobody else is. Sometimes you have to step away from something so you could step into something so the right people can get on the bus in the right way instead of what your pastor tells you. And I know I'm like, oh no, I can hear my teammates saying, don't tell them that. But no, if you're not called to a specific area of ministry, pull back and get into another area of ministry. Sometimes leaders just rely on faithful people because they're faithful, but there is a place where God has given you a vision. You need to move towards that. And our job as leaders and pastors is to help people. Well, it's the same in business, same at home. If you don't have a vision for your household, that's a problem. So you need to discover what's the vision of your home life as a family unit. What is that? Then you need to develop it, and you need to protect it, and you need to share it and collaborate. We'll talk more about this tomorrow. We'll see you Friday.